So I hope you are still enjoying the class, but I'd like to inform you that you must hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave a comment. Thank you. Can we have the next question? Read the extract below and answer question 41 to 45. Seest thou this sweet side? Her dotage now is, I do begin to pity, for meeting her of late behind thee. Wood, seeking sweet favors for this hateful, I did upbraid her, and fall out with her, for she his hairy temples, then had rounded with coronets of fresh and fragrant flowers. That's Act 5, Scene 1, lines 42 to 48. Let's start the question. The speaker is A, Aegeus, B, Oberon, C, Park, and D, Theseus. So the answer is D, Theseus. The next question. Relationship between the speaker and thou in the first line is one of A, companionship, B, friendship, C, king and courtier, D, master and errand boy. D is the answer. That is master and errand boy. The next question. This sweet side refers to A, Bethlehem and Titania, B, Demetrius and Helena, C, Lysander and Hermia, and D, Pyramus and Thisbe. So the answer is C, Lysander and Hermia. The next question. Can we have the next question? The pairs are lovers by dash. A, by accident, B, by fate, and C, by design, D, by fortune. The answer is by fate. If you look at it from the beginning, nobody knew that they would come together, but at the end of the day, they came together. That's by fate. Fate decided that they would be husband and wife, and eventually they became husband and wife. The next question. The speaker appears to be dashed. A, blaming himself. B, commending the addressee. C, enjoying himself. D, lamenting the side. So A is the answer, blaming himself for not allowing them to be married, initially. But at the end of the day, they got married. And that's why he's trying to blame himself. Can we have the next question? Read the extract below and answer question 46 to 45. Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream. Methought I was, there is no man can tell what. Methought I was, and methought I had, but man is but a parched fool. If he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man had not heard, the ear of man had not seen, man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. Act 5, Scene 1, line 201 to 207. So let's have the question. The speaker is dash. A, Bethlehem, B, pork, C, queens, D, peace blossom. The answer is A, Bethlehem. 47. The next question. Can we have the next question? The speaker has just come out of dash. A, an appalling experience. B, a nightmare. C, an induced sleep. D, a rehearsal. So the answer is B, a nightmare. He just had a dream. So the next question. The architects of the speaker's current state is A, Hippolyta, B, Oberon, C, Titania, and D, Theseus. The answer is B, Oberon, who is in charge of magic. It can cause anything, can cause anything. The next question. It is a state of dash. A, deception, B, ignorance, C, illusion, D, innocence. The answer is illusion. And what is illusion there? Magic. They have been using magic to deceive everybody, to cause some people to be ignorant of what they were doing. So it's a magic of illusion. That is C is the answer. The next question. The speaker's language is best described as A, comic, B, satiric, C, conceit, and D, metaphor. So A is the answer, comic, because we laugh at everything they do using magic. So it's bringing a lot of laughter. It's comical. Hello students. I believe you've been enjoying the class. I have no doubts you've been enjoying it. But I want you to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave a comment. Thank you. So let's look at the prose section. We are going to look at the African section first. And the first to be attended to is Bushe Mecheta's second class citizen. So what we are doing here majorly is to train you and educate you on how you can score an excellent mark in literature. So many students, from past experience, discover that many of them do not know how to answer essay question, and so they fail. So there is a need for you to understand the way and manner to answer essay questions so that you can score an excellent mark. So literature requires that you must be able to read very well. You read deeply, and at the same time, you have to be familiar with the characters, the settings, the plots. So, and then you also need to understand the manner in which the writer actually writes his text. So let's look at the first question there, and let's teach you how you can actually answer a question in order to make an excellent mark, either in Waec, NECO, or NABTEB, or any other examination, external examination. So the first one there, account for the contribution of lawyer Nwese to the development of the plot of the novel, and that is second class citizen. So you have to look at the character. The first thing you do here is to examine the character. What do you know about the character? You, as a student, who is lawyer Nwese to you? Then you also look at it from the angle of others, to others, other characters in the novel. You also look at it that way. Then apart from that, there's somebody that you think is a role model. You also look at it from that angle. So you now come to the contribution. What is the contribution of lawyer Nwese to the development of the plot of the novel, to sustain the story? So you look at it one after the other, and in this case, you must be able to mention at least 5 points. At least 5 points to be able to get a credit mark. If you have less points, you have points below 5 points, you may not be able to get credit mark. Not that you are not going to pass it, but you may not get an appreciable mark. So for you to be able to score appreciable mark, score A's, score B's, you should be able to account and develop at least 5 points in that regard. The contribution, one after the other, each paragraph, serve as a point. So we have how many paragraphs? At least you have 5 paragraphs. You can have more than that. So by the time the examiner look at your work, then he will know that you have gone beyond the ordinary. And at the same time, you should be able to present your work orderly. You organize your work, don't write disjointed essay. In literature, your use of English is very important to show that you're a literature student. You must be able to write correct grammar. It could be you write with simple English. Your work must be readable, very legible. If you are writing, even if you have an idea, very good point, but if your writing is illegible, the examiner is not able to read your work, you may not score a good mark in that case. So you should be able to write legibly and present your work with a very good organization, one paragraph to the other. So I don't encourage students to number their work, number 1, number 2, as if you are writing mathematics. No. One paragraph to the other, although you could mention some of those points. In the first instance, you highlight your point. Then later you develop those points. And make sure you refer to the text very well. Talk about those characters, their relationship with others, and particularly Lawyer Nwese. So he is a role model to Ada, particularly. So from the points, from the angle, and from the viewpoint of Ada, so you should be able to look at the contribution. Also the women in the Busa community. So look at the role the man play in their lives. So if you're able to develop this one, and you're able to write more than or at least 5 points, then you get good marks. Thank you. I hope you are enjoying the class. I don't have any doubt. But ensure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave your comment. Thank you. Let's have the next question. Compare Ada with Francis in the novel. So you have to, the first thing you do, you look at each character. You have 2 characters here. Ada first, you look at her character. So, like I said the other time, your own view, or you look at what other characters say about him, about her. So look at the environment that surrounds her base. So you bring that one up. Then you now compare. Then you also look at the character of Francis. Then you now begin the contrast. You begin to highlight Ada has this, Francis the other way around. You look at their good points. Then you also look at their weak points, their weak area. So each of them, you compare them one after the other. So when you do that, you should be able to have at least 5 points. 5 points for each of them. You compare them. So when you do that, then you conclude that you'll be able to get an appreciable mark. Let's have the next question. With relevant references, discuss the role race played to dampen the living standard of Theophilus. You know Theophilus, and that is Ada and Francis, why they were in London. You want to look at the role race, African, British, black race, the white race. So when they were there, we discovered that they are black people from Nigeria. So let's look at how, the way their living standard and how race affected their living standard. This is what you are going to describe. But then you have to give some background. Look at their marriage when they were in Nigeria before they traveled. You pick them one after the other. Look at that of Ada first. Look at her background. And look at when she got married to Francis. Then how she helped Francis to travel out of the country. And later, she moved on to join Francis in the UK. And by the time they get there, you discover their living standard. Compare it to that of the white people. And you can see how they were moving from one place to the other. Look at those people who work with them, who related with them, compare them to show that race actually play a role to dampen their standard of living. So you can see how they were moving from one place to the other, looking for an accommodation, but they could not get a very good accommodation. So their standard of living was very poor, and that is as a result of race. So let's look at that. So if you're able to write at least 5 points, you get good marks. And you must write it with a very good English, very good grammar. Your grammar could be simple, but you bring out the point as required by the examiners. Can we have the next question? This is also from Second Class Citizen. Second Class Citizen is a feminist novel you discuss. So you look at the background. At the same time, you must be able to mention at least 5 points here, or you can even mention more than that. You also look at the background, a kind of, and your focus should be on that of Ada, a female. And what is feminism? The person that wrote it is trying to focus on the plight of women generally, the problem of women, or what women are going through in the hand of men. You compare that, and Ada is a classical example. When she was born, to show that women were relegated to the background at that time. Her birth was not recorded. Nobody knows her birthday. It was not recorded. That of his brother was recorded to show that the text is a feminist novel. You also discover that Ada was not sent to school, but his brother, boy, was sent to school. Why in school? You also discover that Ada forced herself to go to school. The whole text revolved around Ada's story, problem, and how she overcame those challenges she faced in life. And you can also look at other women too, the role of women in the text, either within Nigeria or outside the country, when Ada was in the UK with her husband, Francis. So you look at that, and you will understand that this is a feminist novel, but you discuss it based on the characters and the role they were playing and the contribution they made to the plot of the novel. So you have to discuss this. And you should be able to mention at least 5 points in order to get a very good mark. And make sure you organize your work very well. It's also important to write legibly so that you can get good mark. If you are not writing very well, you are not writing clearly, it may put off the thoughts of an examiner. And that's why sometimes examiner will be asked to mark on impression. Are you able to impress him? Are you able to impress the examiner? So this is one of those things you need to do. You impress the examiner. And when you do that, you score a very good mark. So before we go into the next question, I want you to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave a comment. So let's go to the next question. This is Alice Aguirre, unexpected joy at dawn. And let's look at some of the questions there and how you can actually answer it correctly. The first one there, how is Massa buried in the novel? Before you can answer this question, you have to look at who is Massa. I'm sure you have read the text. Then discuss the character of Massa very well. Massa Awoshika, he's a Nigerian. He's married to a Nigerian. He's a Ghanaian, or partly Ghana-Nigerian relationship at that time. Or we call it Ghana must go, period. So you look at the whole story. Look at her character first. Look at her strong point. and look at the negative aspect too. If there is any, you put everything there. And now, what led to her sickness? You look at what led to her death. She was sick. And look at those places, problem. Moving from one place to the other, trying to recover. So you discuss all those scenarios, discuss all those things, bringing out some of the people that were able to, that were connected with her before she died. Then look at the association she belonged, the fellowship, the church, the tradition, the environment, the people that were involved before she died. Then, before you now come to the period she died and was buried, then look at the scene, discuss those people that were involved in the burial ceremony. Then if you're able to do that, at least you are on your way to score an excellent mark. Then don't forget to write legibly, and whatever you are discussing, it must be with a very good English language, because literature in English require you use very good grammar to discuss whatever you are discussing. Let's move down to the next question. How does, this is numbers, the next question is, how does the expulsion of aliens from Nigeria affect me in the novel? This is also very interesting. So before you answer the question, you also examine the character of Nee, who is the main character in the novel. You look at his life from beginning. What was he doing? And at the same time, when he was expelled, or was given an expulsion, you know, as an alien from Nigeria, like I said, Ghana must go period. The same thing that was done to Nigeria was also, you know, I mean, to Ghanaian in Nigeria, the same thing was done there. Although some people call it xenophobia, but I don't believe it's actually a xenophobia here. But let's look at what actually happened to Nee. You look at the character of Nee, and you now look at what happened to him. You know, he's a Nigerian, but he could not speak any of the Nigerian languages. The only thing that you can also discover that he's a Nigerian is that he has a tribal mark to show that he is from Nigeria, a Yoruba tribe. And apart from that, you should be able to discuss some of those problems, the challenges he went through, discuss them one after the other, and bringing out some of those people who were connected, the character that were connected, you know, in the course of passing through those challenges in his life. Then you must conclude by telling us how he overcame those challenges. And don't forget to explain the role her sister also played in her life. Can we move to the next question? Discuss the character and role of Masa. So this one is also very important. You know, it's as if the questions are linked, but doesn't really matter. What matters most is how you're able to answer the question. And the tips we're giving you today is for you to write a brilliant essay that will give you an excellent mark, either in Waec, in NECO, or in NABTEB. But don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave a comment. So let's look at how you can answer this. This is a very straightforward thing, but the answer is in two forms. First, discuss the character, and second, you discuss the role. If you discuss the character without the role, you are likely going to score half a mark. The mark in Waec is 25 marks. In NECO, it is 30 marks. So if you discuss only the character, for example, in Waec, you discuss only the character, you're able to score. If you score, you may not be able to score everything. That is about 8 marks or 7. Okay, or probably maybe 10-5, or let's assume the other way around. You can't score everything. So it is better you discuss character first. Who is Martha? You discuss her from beginning, relationship with her, what people say about her. You as a person, how do you see her in your life as a reader? So you also look at it from that angle. Then you now come to her role. If you like, you can mention them one by one. You can even put number there. You can say number 1. Which role did he play in the novel to sustain the novel, to a contribution to the plot of the novel? So you discuss her role in the life of her husband, her role in the church, her role to sustain the novel itself. You must be able to mention them one by one. So discussing one and leaving the other, you may not get a good answer. So you have to discuss them one after the other, paragraph by paragraph. First, talk about the character of Martha. Then secondly, you now talk about her role, and you must highlight them one after the other. 1, 2, 3, or you say firstly, second, third. You can say moreover. So you use those words to describe the character and role of Martha. Then you will score good marks. Let's move on to the next question. Write on the events that lead to the burning of building. The same text. So you have to write on the events that lead to the burning of the building. The first thing you need to do, you go back to the plot of the novel. Who are those people that are involved? So tell us the scenario that led to the burning of the building. And which building? You must be able to tell us which building. So tell us the particular building that was burned. So, and you must be able to have at least 5 points. You explain them and discuss them, relating with the characters that were involved and the events that surround the burning of the building. I hope you've been enjoying the class. And don't forget to subscribe, and you hit the button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave your comments. Thank you. Let's have the next question. And this one is on Raf. This is a non-African prose. So let's look at the first one. This is Raf Ellison, Invisible Man. Raf Ellison, The Invisible Man. Examine the narrator's experience with Kimbrough and in the novel. So here, there's no way you are going to examine the experience of the narrator. The narrator himself is a character. So you are going to look at the narrator's experience in line with the Kimbrough in the novel. So you discuss the character just like the other one. You take them one by one, look at the character. So you see in that light, you examine the character very well, critically. The positive aspect, the negative aspect, bring everything out. Then you now look at the experience with Kimbrough. So what are those? Is it positive experience, negative experience, fair experience? You examine them one after the other. You bring the points that are related to the narrator's experience. So from there, you are good to go. So can we go to the next question? All right. It's the same Invisible Man. So you are going to have another question there. How does Ras represent the white man's perceptions and the treatment of blacks in the novel? So these are 2-in-1 questions. The first one, how does Ras represent the white man's perception? What is the view of the white against the black? Look at the perception, the viewpoint of the white. How do they see the black? So you look at it from that angle. Are they human? Are they respected? The treatment meted out to the black by the white. You look at those things, one after the other you discuss. Then you now look at the treatment, given or meted out to the black people. How are the black able to survive those challenges? So look at them one by one. And when you are doing that, you must mention, if you can quote, you can quote, but if you cannot quote, you paraphrase. I need to show that you have read the text. You must be able to paraphrase. You must be able to tell of some of those encounters they have, the characters have, the cause of the white and black relationship. And they are probably the way they talk about the black and those actions, they meted out against the black. You should be able to discuss them. In fact, you're going to write a lot here. And when you write everything, you discuss everything, you score an excellent mark. And don't forget to ensure you write with very good English. And at the same time, you must organize your work. Don't disorganize it, paragraph by paragraph. And don't forget, you have to write, look at how race represents, how did he see, the black, the perception against the white, and the perception of the white against the black, and the treatment meted out to the black people. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, share, and leave your comments. Let's have the next question. Discuss the character and role of Dr. Bledsoe in the novel. Can you see another thing here? And I'm sure if you are familiar with this question, especially NECO, we always want to set their question in this form. So, and it's going to be 15-15 marks. The first one, the character. You discuss the character like I told you. You must discuss everything you know about the character. The people, what are the people saying? What are other characters saying about him? What are their view about Dr. Bledsoe? And not only that, your own perception. What is your own critical judgment or critical appraisal of Dr. Bledsoe? Then from there, you now go to the role. If you lump everything together, you may not score good mark. Or you just concentrate on the character without the role. Or you discuss the role without the character, you won't get a good mark. So you must be able to discuss both sides. Then look at the role he played in the novel, in the life of the character, in the life of the African people, in the life of the white people, or between the people, the character that are involved. So you should be able to discuss them very well to hand a very good mark. So let's have the next question. Here, the question says, justify the view that the novel is a representation of the African and American society. So, what are those information you have? How do you justify them? That's why you must read the text very well. You familiarize yourself with what the text is all about. You justify the view that there is a view that the novel is a representation of the African American society. How? Bring out those things that you can see. One, tell us. Another one here, until you are able to mention about 5 points to show that this novel is a representation of the African American society. Bring them out from the life of the character, from the events that take place one way or the other. You should be able to bring them out. So why doing that? There's no way you won't score good mark. So I hope you are enjoying the lesson, you are enjoying the training. Then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, ensure you like, you share, and leave your comment. So let's go on to the next question. And this is Emily Bronte. Is a non-African novel the Wuthering Heights. So the question is, examine the significance of Lockwood's second visit to Wuthering Heights. So it means it came first. So you have to, before you answer this question, you look at the character first. The character is Lockwood. So look at this character from two sides, the positive aspect, the negative aspect. If there is no negative aspect, concentrate on the positive aspect. Discuss the characters. Then you now look at significance of his second visit to Wuthering Heights. So what is significant? You have to mention them one after the other, and you must be able to, overall, you must be able to tell us at least three significant things that his visit brought to Wuthering Heights at the second visit. So if you do this, you will score a good mark. And remember, you are writing to impress the examiner. So examiner will mark you. Whatever you write, you should be able to impress the examiner. Use very good English. Organize your work. Let it be very orderly. And at the same time, you must mention one point to the other, at least 5 points overall. So let's have the next question from Emily Bronte. And the question is, what is the relationship between Katie and Hareton? So before you can also answer this question, there are two characters here. Who is Katie? Tell us things you know about Katie. Then now come to Hareton. Discuss the character of Hareton. Then you now go back to the question. By the time you do that, you talk about Katie, you must have written so many things. Then go back again and talk about Hareton. What I discover over the years is that some lazy students will always write maybe 2 sentences about a character. You can't score mark. You can't even score a pass when you are writing only 2 sentences on a character. There are so many things that you can write that will impress the examiner. So write them. Don't overlook anything. Don't skip anything. Don't put anything aside. Write and write and write until you cannot write. So, and I discovered that so many students will not even write half a page of the books. So you have to write and keep writing. Apart from that, you also talk about the character of Hareton. Write whatever you know about Hareton's character. Then now talk about their relationship. What is the relationship? Is it a good one? Is it harmonious? Is it pleasant? Is it fair? Is it on love? So it could be positive, it could be negative. That's how to answer that question. Something except you have not read the text. But when you read the book, you should be able to tell us the relationship deeply, either positive or negative. That one will give you a very good mark. I believe you've been enjoying the class. So if that is the case, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. Ensure you like, share, and leave your comment. Let's go to the next question. All right. Discuss the character and role of Lockwood, bringing out its significance to the development of the text. This is a very complex question. So 2 things here, just like the others. 2 things you must know. Don't discuss one aspect and leave the other. You will score half mark. But we want to get the whole mark. You must discuss the 2 aspects. The first one is the character. Discuss the character of Lockwood. Tell us everything you know about Lockwood. What people say about, what other character, say about him. Then the setup, the setting, the environment he lives. Discuss so many things that surround him. Then tell us about the role. Look at the role. And in an attempt to tell us the role, you bring out is significant to sustaining the plot or to sustaining the novel to the end. What makes the novel to continue to the end? He is a contributor. So you should be able to tell us some of those contributions that he has made to the development of the plot of the novel. So ensure you discuss both aspects. Don't leave one and leave the other. You should be able to discuss them totally and balance them. Then you score good marks. Okay, hello students. I believe you've been enjoying the class from the starting point. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Equally, like, share, and leave your comment.